The dust has settled on one match, and there are still 3 more to go, and that's just tonight. Minor League Esports on your screen, and it is more twos action, the promised land of content. Usually when I talk about that, I'm referring to overtime in any given series, Game 5 overtime being the penultimate version of that. But I also hold dear to my heart the Foundation League, and we are going to get some Foundation League action. Kendo Slice here alongside my good friend Fallen. And Fallen, we have the Wolves, we have the Sabres, both a little bit of a rough start with 1-4s, but with Foundation League, anything is possible at any time. I love watching the I don't want to say the little guy Fallen, but it literally is the guys who everybody discounts. They have a home here in the MLE, and we get to watch them grow.
I know, I agree with you. I'm a strong member of the Foundation League. Are always great committee. They are always providing some of the single best stories in any MLE season. Every single match in Foundation League has that added weight because you don't know which way it's going to go. Yes, the mechanical skill is not there with your Academy League, Champion, Master, Premier. They're nowhere even close to any of the upper echelons of the league, but that doesn't matter. Because at the time that they step onto that field, you don't know how that match is going to go. They can flip on a dime. It can be the most magical of series where the last second ditch goals are so crucial and so powerful. And as we look towards this one, the Sabres and the Wolves, both teams are going to need something magical if they're to try and save what was a pretty dire week 1 for both teams, not coming away with really anything to speak of.
Of course, very rare in a given Foundation League season that the entire team sticks together because the development is fast and rapid. Once you are on a team, it's amazing to see how fast some of these young talents, and talents, in some cases not even young, sometimes they're a little bit on the older side. Dads like me, if you know what I mean. But we're going to get underway, ladies and gents. It is time. The Sabres, we have Goosen and Maple. It is going to be Narnar and Meerkat for the Wolves. Again, we say Wolves. It's a meme,
I
folks.
think for that, yeah, it's a meme. It's been around since, well, a long time since before I joined the league, and it's a meme I have happily adopted. The Wolves, because they don't take the L. They will always keep fighting forward, and right now, they find themselves on the back foot. Maple with a good clearance there will put this one into the Wolves' half. Good challenge there. A bit of a double commit from Nana and Meerkat just to try and throw off this Sabres offense. But both teams off the back of rather disappointing week 1 results, as we mentioned. The Puffins 4-1ing the Sabres. The Foxes, my own team, 4-1ing the Wolves. But the Wolves will start off strongest here. 51 seconds in, 1-0.
I remember it was season 6 when Ray joined the Wolves as a leader in that system that they coined the term, and I love following the Wolves ever since. So they don't like to take the L. They're going to get the first blood in this one, and the Sabres going to be left reeling. It's going to be Goosen needing to make a touch, and Meerkat will get away with this one. Oh my.
I'm sorry, did he just redirect this after a demo?
Yes.
We'll count it, that's calculated. Player of the week, ladies and gentlemen, right there, served up on a plate. That's amazing. For Foundation League, yes, that's totally not calculated, and you can't even call it as calculated because no one will believe you. But in the case of that, it's just the right amount of crazy to work in Foundation League, and really that's all you need sometimes, just the right amount of crazy to get something done and to get a series lead like this, a 2-0 game lead here in game number 1, and they're not looking to settle, they're looking to try and make it 3.
They will do just that. Looking to work the corner is Meerkat. Push towards the net that Goosen will receive. Goosen might be able to follow this ball all the way down. Help from Maple. It's bar and out. Very close opportunity. The Sabres attempting to cut into the early lead for the Wolves.
Loving this aerial play from these players. It's not very often you see players comfortable enough to go up into the air. Normally they'll wait for the ball to come back down and try and really like that, but it feels like we're in the upper echelons of the Foundation League here. Meerkat and Guzan both going up multiple times to try and make some wonderful aerial plays. Maple, the aggressor, pushing forward so far, and well, Nana is just about holding that rotation together for the Wolves, and that is a beautiful drive downfield, just off target. The follow-up won't be there, but in the case of the Wolves, half the game gone. They have looked the better side so far, but it can again turn on a dime, and all the Sabres would need is one quick goal. They're not going to find it here, though, as the Wolves will start pushing forward and might find one of their own, if not for Maple on the defensive line.
And Maple will do just that, continue it all the way into the Wolves' defensive zone. And little moments like that are very teachable. You have a 1v1. Do a little bit more than just throwing it on net, because Narnar takes full advantage of it. Controls all the way down, gets a chopper on the net, and the Wolves are now up by 3. It's so critical at this level, though, Fallen. You have to make sure that you hold your opportunities close, and you do that by staying with a lot of your touches. Those one and done shots are very easily punishable, and you have to watch out for that. Here's a chance. Maple had an open net back the other way and will not be able to convert upon it. The Wolves breathe a sigh of relief, but not any longer. Goosen takes to the sky.
That's a beautiful goal for a Foundation League player. What a read out of the corner as well. And then sends it so perfectly back post. There is no way that Nana could have made the save, as he gets sent flying out of the net in a splash of water. And the Sabres finally get something to sink their teeth into. A goal in this one. They may start to try and build off of this, but it would take a lot to get back into this one.
But 90 seconds, plenty of opportunity to do just that, especially with the Wolves committing hard in the offensive zone. Meerkat backward. You know, one of these days, I feel like we should do an MLE show match of players driving backward.
Oh yeah,
because I get the feeling that there are some innate talents that we do not know about just yet, and Meerkat showed us something right there. Maybe the Foundation League All-Star representatives. Yeah, my early pick, Meerkat, right there. Backward driving award.
It's very early to call one of those, but to be fair, I called the Demolition we're going to win the AL Championship this season on Behind the Goal earlier today, so I guess nothing is too early to be called at this point. It's all a bit of fun and games, and right now, the Wolves are not having any fun and games. They're just trying to stuff out the Sabres in Game 1, and they're doing a pretty good job at silencing any offensive pressure that the Sabres have been applying. 30 seconds on the clock, and it has just been the Wolves at the better part of a minute now, holding pressure, holding possession, and not allowing the Sabres to really create anything. Apart from this moment, where Goosen can bring it down the field, they need to get a goal here, and then on off the kickoff, but the demo from Meerkat will end the dream.
Another tactic that can be so critical in Foundation League. If you know what you're doing in a demo situation, you can eliminate all pressure, and the Wolves did just that. When the Sabres would have liked to put one on, the Wolves made sure there was no chance.
Yeah, I feel like there was a reference there that just sort of went over my head. I apologise, but a brilliant start for the Wolves. Nana, incredible, all across the board, doing absolutely everything. 100% goal participation, and while the shots were equal, it felt like maybe the performances were not. Nana having an amazing game number 1 to open things up for the Wolves, and they aren't holding an L in this series. They get their second game of the season, first game of this series, and they are looking to push on now as we look towards game number 2.
I'm looking between these two teams. I mean, you have the Wolves, who seem like they do have a lot going on, and I didn't know better, I'd say you got Narnar and Meerkat, and they've been working out together. They know what they are doing in these circumstances. It's not necessarily with, the prowess of a mechanical G level presentation that we're seeing, but what we have seen them do in togetherness as a team and teamwork, that's what the Foundation League is all about. Overcome the enemy on the opposite side of the pitch with those demos, with those extra touches to keep away the ball and misdirect your enemy team. And we're hoping to see a little bit more flashes of brilliance out of the Sabres, and a chance here for Maple. Demos Meerkat on the back end, who's just able to misdirect that into the corner. Narnar takes to the sky and will not be able to follow. That is Goosen. Goosen, did not get the bounce off the backboard they would have liked. And we see the ball travel side to side to side again. Both teams struggling to take full command.
That's a good touch from Maple though, over the top of Nana. Will try and create some offense for the Sabres, but just no real rotation forward. Neither team wanting to overcommit this early in game number 2. It feels like now we're actually getting that feeling out process that we talk about so often as casters, as commentators. You have that sort of stage in a Rocket League fixture where both teams just sort of size each other up like two animals staring at each other across the field, just getting a gauge of where the strengths are and where the speed differences lie and where they can take advantage of any weak points that they can notice. But right now, the Wolves, their only weakness might be their own ability. Their ability to go up in the air, because just like that, one beat and Maple will give the Sabres a 1-goal lead. What a wonderfully powerful strike this was.
Yeah, the orange saber gives you wings at this point, as they have taken to the sky and shown themselves to be very proficient at, if nothing else, some basic aerial play, but the finishes have been nothing but basic. They have been critical at this point. And we got an exclamation point play of the week in the team chat between these two teams. So I tell you what, they're very aware that they're on camera right now and enjoying themselves in the process. Another wonderful thing that you can take joy out of when the Foundation League takes to the pitch. Here's Goosen. Goosen, that's a complete miss. And Maple is there to clean it up.
Yeah, Maple, you have to remember, is a member of the league operations team here in MLE. He's one of the higher ups in the league. He's one of the more influential members of the league at this point, doing a lot of the work communicating with and around the teams and the different franchises in the league. But above all else, he is a solid person. And right now, he understands that he just hit a banger of a shot, but the Wolves are looking to hit one of their own. A great save from Maple will just about keep Nono shut away. Meerkat though, with time on his side, will not be able to put that one home. And this one will just be a slightly studied amount of Wolves pressure that just gets undone by one or two good touches from Goosen and Maple. And once again, the Sabres find themselves, I wouldn't say comfortable, but they find themselves in control of possession.
And it's been quite impressive to behold. Here comes Maple. Control in the own zone. While we've seen a lot of neutral ball opportunities, nobody's been taking full advantage of. I feel like that means it's not necessarily a bad thing. I feel like it's an extremely good thing. It's a manifest destiny. It's a seize the day sort of situation. Control is there for you. You just have to take it. You just have to seize it. And Meerkat will look to choose you just that with the shot on. Big save by the Sabres. Their defense far from extinct here. Just a minute and a half to go, and both teams getting shots towards the net.
Yeah, Goosen there within a one-on-one. I believe it was with Meerkat on the back end, and just straight up went, I put that on target. I know it's on target. Let me go for Meerkat, and missed him by inches. Meerkat surviving that extinction level event that was running towards his net with a certain ferocity. But once again, the Wolves will find themselves on the offensive front. Nana will put that on target, but it's too slow. Maple will just about recover and make the stop. And Meerkat will be forced to try and keep this one in. That's a great touch. But again, Maple, right place, right time on the defense, is just about keeping the Sabres ahead with 40 seconds to go.
But tough as that'll be hard off the backboard. A miss here. Narnar with a chance, and no hit means that it might go by the wayside. Meerkat, the big save by Goosen. That was a sure thing. Snatched from the jaws of potential victory. Another opportunity as Meerkat needs to take to the sky. It's a shot. Scores! They tie the game with 17 seconds to go.
And you've got to be thinking, in the Wolves comms right now, it's just a finally. How many chances did they have to take before they finally put one home? And that is perfect timing. Only 17 seconds on the clock. Only a small amount of time before they find themselves in an overtime to try and take a 2-game lead from a series that really should be tied at 1-1 right now. But the Sabres, they don't want an overtime. They're still pushing on here. Goosen will look to try and catch this. That's flicked away. That one will actually bounce up off the sidewall. Then now it will go down, luckily for pretty much everyone involved. And we've got ourselves another overtime, the third one of the night, and the first one in this 5-game series.
Let's see how it works out. The Wolves have done a great job of getting pushes into the offensive zone just like that, and they're looking to zone out the defense with physical plays. The Sabres seem to own the sidewall. They've shown a lot of confidence. They've been looking for each other with passes. It just doesn't seem to be enough at times because the Wolves defense remains steadfast. They're not taking any L's today. Here comes Maple. Breaks in on the midfield ball. A chance. There's going to be a tactical whiff, maybe. Goosen will throw this back towards the net again. Weak touch by Narnar. Maple misses the shot on completely. Almost able to get something produced towards the net. That was dangerous. A give. Maple shoots, score, and the Sabres pull away the victory.
And that is a game you could arguably say they deserve to take. A beautifully played shot from Maple. Nana could only put it into the top corner, and that, as Maple says in chat, you guys can't see it at home, you've got some wonderful graphics on your screen instead. That was one of the most intense games that Maple, and I think anyone, has seen out of Foundation League players. No one would give an inch in that one. It was back and forth all the way to the end. And now we find ourselves with a situation where, once again, we're tied up at 1 apiece going into Game 3.
Yeah, and this is really, really good content. As we said, anything can happen in these Foundation League games. More often than not, though, you do see mistakes, and you will see those mistakes not always get punished. It adds a spice of flavor, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I love every second of it. You give me a whiff where there could have been a goal, and I play that up because the critical moments are so good in these matchups. Sabres do come away with game number 2 after a solid overtime period, and both of these teams, they've had their chances. They're really showing some good sportsmanship in the chat, the chatter back and forth. I know you can't see it at home, but man, oh man, I love the Foundation League. The quality of character just continues to grow each and every season.
Yeah, I'm so grateful to have a Foundation League team on the Foxes. It's always so much fun to see these players, either young or old, just personalities that they're not taking it so seriously at times, but they are still enjoying every second. And as we look to enjoy another 5 minutes of Rocket League gameplay, the Wolves and the Sabres, that's right, we're sticking without the L. They will go into game number 3, and will either team find that definitive lead to take it in the series. Maple will like to say the Sabres will. What a goal this is.
Maple finds the squeaker angle right here, just barely able to pinch that one in. Pretty sure that accumulated 5 or 6 different shots. Only one? Psionics, please.
Psionics, come on. That's gotta be at least 3. Like, a minimum 3.
You'd think that got trapped up against the car and the crossbar for a solid quarter of a second. That's at least 3 shots there.
Yeah. Well, this is only one.
Oh, no.
That's only one. That's all the Wolves need. And now they're tied right back up. One, I believe, actually just one singular shot between them. And they're tied right back up. 35 seconds gone. And a beautiful goal from Nana off the counter-attack.
Yeah, good stuff yet again. And now the Sabres, they give away the early advantage. You can build a lot off of a single goal advantage when you're in Foundation League. That pressure of knowing that you have to convert really can shift the momentum of a team. Now, no team has that advantage in 3. It'll be Maple for the pass down to Goosen. Shot on, then Narnar will hit to the side, and Meerkat, quick pickup. No pressure so far until the very end here. It'll be high on the backboard. Maybe a bad touch as Narnar's able to pick that one up in the box.
That's not really a bad touch. That's just a beautiful placement there from Nana. Catches that one absolutely clean. Buries it near post. Even with the reaction times of a god, you're not keeping that one out. And the Wolves, for the first time since game number 1, have a lead in this one. They have the possibility of pushing on for perhaps a game 3 win, but they will have to keep the Sabres out. And if the Sabres can't put it on target, that'll be a little easier. Nana with a hat trick off 3 shots, and the Wolves will look to extend their lead.
I'm happy the Sabres got the victory in overtime in game number 2, but since then they look like they're showing they're brimming with confidence. And that confidence has led to multiple overcommits that have been punished each and every time. They're down by 2. They're going to have to make an adjustment. Offense is definitely there, but oh my.
Now we are going to see if the Wolves can continue this momentum. We saw them with looking a little bit more comfortable in game 1. Lost it a little towards the end, but were mostly comfortable in that matchup. Now they have a bit more of a solid lead earlier on. They can possibly not rest on their laurels, but at least hold on to what they have and not try and overcommit and risk losing it all just for a little extra. Meerkat will look to try and control this one. Will beat out Maple. Will look to try and beat out Goosen. Doesn't have the boost to go over the top though. Shot from Nana on target, and Maple will get the first save of the Sabres so far today, keeping that one out of the net for a moment. Meerkat almost finds a way home and will only assist in clearing that ball away with Maple to his teammate Nana, who sat perfectly in the midfield as the Sabres sort of struggle to deal with this one as it rolls up their backboard.
We're past halftime, ladies and gents, and it is continuing to be... What? Narnar gonna put a 4th goal in here for the Wolves. I gotta see this.
Oh my lord! That's the play of the week.
Yeah, that might be a Balls Guarana play of the week. Oh, my goodness. You don't usually see that in Foundation League. I'm not sure if that's a full-on Doomsday flick, but the carry through the corner, very unexpected, gets the angle on.
I love how Meerkat goes, I'm in chat with you, and I can't believe you just hit that. Like, that is how you know you've hit a good shot. But even your own teammate, who's been coming with you for the better part of 3 games, has no clue how you've just slotted that one in the back of the net. Now Meerkat will look to drive this one forward, but Maple will just hold the line momentarily and Goosen with that great clearance away then. Last-ditch touch at the near post will clear it to the midfield line. But no, quick turnaround. We'll look to try and get the Wolves their 5th. That's an open net. Meerkat will not miss. And the Wolves are looking much more dominant in this one. That's Meerkat's first goal of game 3.
Mercy, the team plays coming out in droves for the Wolves, and the Sabres, once again, I just feel like they've got a disconnect with the ball. Good news is there's still 90 seconds. You can find some solace in this game. High likelihood, unless you get a shot like that out of Goosen, you're not going to pull the full-on comeback. 3 goals, 90 seconds, it's possible.
It's definitely possible. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Good challenge there from Goosen over the top of, I believe that was Nana on the net. But it feels like if we're looking at it from a purely pace perspective, if we're looking at it from a pure consistency perspective, yes, the Sabres have the ability to. But for the most part, this has been the Wolves' domination in this game, and it would take a lot of it would take a giant gust from the winds of change for something so dramatic as 4 goals to go in the favour of Sabres, let alone just another one at this point, considering how strong the Wolves have looked. But FL is probably the place where if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Jeez. Nana needs to calm down with these 50s. I feel like it's getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, and that's another transition punish, open net, back down the other way. 3 of the goals off of the aggression from the Sabres being punished. This one not necessarily off of an overcommit as much as it was positional overcommit. You have the last one back. It was a solid 50-50, but it was more solid for Narnar in victory. They're going to get another one on net. Meerkat. Oh, my. What a pass from Narnar.
Yeah, again, Nana has been absolutely immense. That's just brutal, that. The pin off of the car and his own, just into the middle, perfectly placed. And Meerkat, just right place, right time. And it feels like that has been the story of game number 3. Right place, right time have been the Wolves. They have looked to be a lot stronger offensively, defensively, a lot more consistent in their play. Goosen will actually put this one home off of a little bit of a mistouch from Meerkat, who just looked to really beat a shot that never came. And, well, perfect timing in a sense, sort of summarizes this entire series in a nutshell.
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Fawn. One of the things that I love the most about Foundation League is when you get 2 teams that are very aptly punishing their opponent's mistakes. And right now, the Sabres, they seem to be punishing those small mistakes the Wolves are making. The Wolves, we've seen them multiple times. In fact, half their goals are off of Sabres mistakes. They're going to get another one, 8-3 now. That is a recipe for huge content, in my opinion, in the Foundation League, when both teams are just punishing each other each time there is a mistake on the pitch. 1, it can go the way of reduce the mistakes, but 2, it could end up to an absolute barn burner, slobber knocker situation that just doesn't seem to end in goals. Game 3 ends up being more that latter, and the Wolves will come out on the winning side.
Yeah, and I really feel like at this point in this sort of series, I think I can make a general assumption on how the next game will go, because this one doesn't feel like the Sabres are out of it, despite what the scoreline shows, despite what you're seeing right there with Nana once again 100% goal participation. It doesn't feel like it's totally Wolves dominating Sabres, especially if you look at games 1 and 2. It was a very evenly matched series. So my prediction is the Sabres will take this next game with a 1-goal advantage. Maybe they'll get it in overtime, maybe they'll get it before, who knows. That is not my expertise. I don't predict when goals go in, I just predict scorelines. And whatever happens in game 5 happens, but this one doesn't end in game 4.
You know, I'm going to actually think the opposite way. I think that the Wolves are looking extremely refined, looking very polished. I realize I'm saying that, and it's really the difference between the 2 teams in this game was the Sabres made more mistakes, and those mistakes were punished. However, I do feel like it takes a little bit of adjustment, and the Sabres did not show me too much of a sign there in game number 3 of the adjustments. If the Sabres can clean it up, we're going to have another game 2. Probably an overtime, really close matchup, and we'll go from there. However, mistakes, they have to stop if you're the Sabres.
Yeah, but really, there's not much you can do if a kickoff goes that against you. Brilliant start from the Wolves, looking to try and apply pressure here in game number 4. Little bit of a miscommunication there, Maple not catching the ball like he'd want to, but will catch it right that time. That's both Wolves out of the play, but just hasn't got the pace at the time to get far enough ahead. Meerkat with a great recovery drive will just about keep that one out of the danger zone. And the Sabres will be forced to backtrack all the way into their half. First 30 seconds. And the Wolves trying to set up shop in the offensive half once again here in game 4.
Here we go. This is going to be a prime opportunity, but no one there to finish. However, I do like the patience out of the Sabres. Don't put yourself out of position to chase after balls that probably shouldn't have been careening across the goal line. I commend them on that point. It's going to be well played in the middle. Hi, Goosen. Another 50-50 win for the Sabres, and Goosen gets it in the offensive zone. Has a chance to break in, and 50-50 again does not do so. A chip up by Maple, so received very well by Narnar. Aerially, he's going to get shot towards the side. It'll be just wide. Didn't quite get it deep enough, didn't find that angle.
Yeah, it feels like so far the Wolves have had the lion's share of the possession and lion's shares of the shots in game number 4. But the Sabres really feels like they're just struggling to get their teeth into this one. They're not necessarily playing at the same high octane level, the same high press level that we saw out of them in games number 2 and game number 1. But right now, they are on the offensive, and just another great touch from Goosen will give Nana the room to send that one all the way down the end. And another long clear will give Nana just too much room to work with, and maybe that's a bit of a curse because Goosen, with a beautiful challenge, will put that one home. 1-0 Sabres out of nowhere.
Well, there's punish number 1, and Goosen takes advantage of the chip up by Narnar. I appreciate the fact Narnar trying to control their own touch and get it through the midfield, but it ends up being immediately jumped upon by the Sabres. It's something I do feel like the Sabres as a team are struggling with as well. They are doing a lot of pitch and catch into the offensive zone. The dump and chase strategy you usually see in a given hockey game every other team is playing, and it hasn't worked out. If anything, they're losing possession more often than not, but now they get to play with that 1-goal lead, which changes everything. The pressure is on the Wolves, and pressure is not making diamonds at the moment for the Wolves defense.
Yeah, brilliant attempt there. Almost found its way home, but just no real commit from the Foxes going forward. That's a little bit of a mistouch, but Maple will land on top of it and just about make something out of that one. Good touch from Meerkat, that's almost open, but Maple, good recovery drive, getting in front of the net once again. Rotation out from Goosen will leave this one open at the near post, but Maple will touch it down, and Goosen with a great clearance away into the Wolves half. And the Wolves just stuck on their defensive side here. They're not able to get the same high-level quality chances as they were, but the Sabres are still making too many mistakes on the rotation, too many misses at the ball, and they will be made to pay eventually as long as the Wolves can get their offensive shooting on target, and Goosen isn't given 3 goals like this one.
Really well done. Another mistake, another punishment, and it's the Sabres firmly in control of a 2-goal lead. We've crossed that 90-second threshold, 82 to be precise, left on the clock. And if you're the Wolves, you have to make quick changes now. Otherwise, you're going to prove falling right. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that at all. Meerkat will put that one home. And, well, now I'm closer to being right because it's a 1-goal game. And just like that, the Sabres looks set still, despite the mistakes from Maple as he completely loses his mind in quick shot. They still look remotely in control. All it would take is one quick counter-attack, kick-off goal. Almost just summoned that one into existence. For them to find their way into a comfortable 2-goal lead that they'll basically be able to see out for the rest of the game. But right now, the Wolves are not letting them have that comfort and are pushing on the offensive side, even if the chances aren't falling as well as they ought to.
Ooh, double commit will not be punished here. Goosen does control well into the corner. That is not the touch. It will be the Wolves' ball. They will move it through the midfield. Demo on Maple, but a 50-50 will be won, and this is going to allow Goosen a shot towards the net. That is a backward touch. It's dangerous in the box. Maple's up early, but he will miss it just wide. And the Sabres could have had the nail in the coffin. Instead, they're on the back foot. Ball will drop towards the box, and Maple will get there first and score all the way down the field.
Yeah, it feels like we've been waiting for a long, clear goal this entire time. A chance going wide from Maple with the aerial shot. Tapped it past the post, but the great recovery onto defense. Getting back, being that last man and getting the beat onto Meerkat to put that one home. And now the Sabres look set to take us to Game 5 once again. The Wolves will look to try and get one more. Meerkat will fake out one, but just there's no pace, there's no boost left in the tanks. And the Sabres, confidently I could say as they make it 4, look like a team that can definitely challenge the Wolves now as we head to Game 5 of the 5-match series.
Really solid stuff from the Sabres. They will prove you right here, as it will go to a Game 5 with the series still up in the air. Man, oh man. Both of these teams, they keep on giving the opportunities to each other, and this is one of those sit-down moments with Kendo, and it's one of the things I love about having the opportunity to cast Foundation League. Control the ball.
It's such a simple message.
The ball. It goes so far in a 2v2 when you're able to see the ball onto your hood and then get a flick up. You don't even have to eke out a commit from your opponent. Just control it down, force a strong 50-50, and let your other teammate clean up with good positioning. Both of the teams could do that and completely change the complexion of this game. It literally is a seize the day. I don't know who's going to win at this point, Fallen, because it really has been who makes the least mistakes in a given game. Let's find out who's going to have it. Will it be the Wolves? Will it be the Sabres? Game number 5. A decisive game number 5 here live in the Foundation League.
As we look to get going, as we wait, as the cars sit on the field. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. But noticeably in this one, the Wolves are arguably mechanically more consistent. The issues arise with just simple ground touches at times. Yes, we can aerial up, but can you catch the ball and dribble it down a field without conceding possession? Not always. It feels like certain aspects of their game are a little lacking. The long ball clears from Game 3. No, they're back in their repertoire. Don't worry about it. That's fine. As Nana will slot that one home with a beautiful drive down the line.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's almost like American baseball right now. It's just there isn't as many line drives or single base hits. It's all home runs all the time when it comes down to offense. Very few teams playing small ball, and I wouldn't mind some borderline heat seeker gameplay between these two teams as they just destroy some of these shots from their own defensive zones. Ooh. We may get a pass, though. This will be Maple with a shot on off of a good delivery from Goosen, and Arnar sweeping in at the last moment. Get that man a cape.
It feels like he has been a sort of a superhero-esque figure for the Wolves right now. has done such a good job throughout the series, arguably the MVP of the entire series, regardless of who wins Game 5, has always been the one to give us those fancy goals, to give us that amazing possible player of the week where he just dribbles it in from an impossible angle whilst still doomsying it in a sense, will make that touch away from Maple, and now has given the Wolves a chance. They will not miss this one. 2 goals off, and the last time a team led by more than a goal, this game went to them. Is this the case here? Are the Wolves going to keep history repeating itself as Goosen comes flying towards my camera and scares me? Or are the Sabres... Sorry, the goal explosion just sent him miles above. A little bump there, a miscommunication from the Sabres. I think I've already got my answer. Wolves make it 3-0.
Mercy, the Sabres once again, they're just feeling so confident. The double commit hard into the offensive zone, and Meerkat just able to walk it back. You cannot give the Wolves opportunities like that if you're the Sabres, and there's still time for them to come back, but it's going to have to be an alternate reality level of adjustment. Maple going for the demo. That could have been a goal. Instead, it's a double commit. Does Meerkat have another one? Just enough to power through Maple, who does get back in time. Oh, boy.
Foundation League. You never thought you'd get so flustered about one single game, but here we are. Now Goosen will look to try and get that one, just unable to get that one over the top, and Maple just sort of biding his time, trying to find the touch, not able to do so. And Meerkat will put that one towards the middle, but this time Maple will make contact. We'll wait for this one to bounce. We'll look to try and pinch it across the net, and it's a good read from Nana to keep that one from going too far across and being cleared across the line.
Though we've approached halftime, it has come and gone. Sabres desperately searching for something. It was shot towards the net off the side ball. This one might also be in. Meerkat, last second save. And here's another double commit. Meerkat with a chance in a footway straight with Goosen. Goosen just able to cut that one off in time for Maple to pick it up out of the midfield. Maple searching for the backboard. Be met by Meerkat. Not going to allow that. Chance for Narnar. Decides to back off, and I think at this point, if you're the Wolves, that conservative play is going to pay dividends. Because you can just allow the pressure of a 3-goal lead under 2 minutes to cook the Sabres.
Yeah, it feels like they are being almost just devoured by their own need to score at this point. The hunger setting in. They need to find one soon, otherwise it will be end of series for them. But with more defensive mishaps, no boost in the tank necessarily for Maple here. He just won't be able to get there in time, and the Wolves looking more and more like the team that really ought to have came out in week number 1. Although a little miss from Nana will give them a little bit of room, but a good demo from Meerkat will perhaps end all of the dreams of the Sabres getting a miracle comeback. It's still within the realms of possibility, but now I feel it's starting to get a little out of reach even for them.
2 seconds to go, and a miss by Maple will be just wide. Another chance for Goosen, the follow-up. Routine save by Narnar, picked up by Meerkat and brought all the way out into the offensive zone. That's not the touch. Maple's gonna miss. It's dangerous on the line, and Goosen yet again able to just keep it out. And it just seems you can feel the panic for the Sabres at this point. It probably would be too little too late if they do get this goal here. But Meerkat and the Wolves, they're guarding the dead. Fear the Wolves, ladies and gentlemen. They are going to continue forward. They're going to win this series. It's going to be, it was a wild one. It was definitely a wild one, Fallen.
This is the definition of a good Foundation League series. Not the mechanical consistency that you expect to see at the top levels. It's a little bit lesser on that front. But in terms of the story that developed between these two teams, the story of comebacks for the Sabres, looking like arguably the better team at times, with the Wolves crushing that in Game 3, and again, just looking so in control, so confident throughout Game 5, and now they have a series win. They will take those 3 games and they will take them with pride, knowing that even though they are still, I believe, on a negative win-loss record of 4-6, they have got that series win, and hoping now maybe for the Foxes or Puffins to pick up a 5-0 so that they can move perhaps into second place in the division and into that playoff spot early on in the season.
Well, folks, there are a lot of questions still to answer, and there are 2 more matches on the night. So pop yourselves a Bogs Garada. Add a little more energy to your step and enjoy yourself some more Rocket League action. We switch from 2s to 3s, and we are going to be in the Champion League. It's going to be the Hive versus the Eclipse. You don't want to go away. That's all for Fallen and myself. I've been Kendo Slice. You're watching Minor League Esports. We'll be right back.